Happy Friday, everyone. It's Friday, December 19th. And I wanted to share a visa approval that we got yesterday for one of our clients who came to us with a particularly complicated case. So I want to walk you through it from start to finish and tell you what the process was and why, there were some obstacles to overcome and how we overcame them by suing the government. This individual was and is a native of Brazil, but also holds Spanish citizenship. In January of 2023, she entered the United States, I believe, on her Spanish passport, and subsequently married her U.S. citizen, at the time boyfriend, now spouse. That was in January 2023. They then, on their own, in March of 2023, filed a one-step adjustment of status. So that's an I-130, I-485 filed concurrently. So far, so good. However, they then make a fatal mistake, and they think that because the I-130, I-485 is pending and they have the receipts, that she can travel prior to getting any type of advance parole document, and simply just with the receipt notices. And they do leave the country for a trip to the Virgin Islands in March of 2023. Lo and behold, when they traveled in April of 2023. Then when they try to re-enter the United States in May of 2023, after their vacation has concluded, she is faced with the reality that she was not actually authorized to travel and is prohibited and denied entry to the United States, at which point we get a panicked call, right? Saying, hey, can you help us? We're trying to enter. And frankly, the response was no. We can't, but we can help you long term. We can't help you in the short term re-enter, but long term we can help you fix this, because now you no longer have an adjustment packet. You are no longer in the United States. That adjustment is not going to be approved. So we had a couple options. We could wait on the approval of the I-130 and then do an I-864 to transfer the I-130 to the NVC. Right? Or we could try and amend the I-130, withdraw the I-485, so that once it's approved, it's automatically sent to the NVC. And that's the route that we decided to take. So we sent in an amendment to the I-130 with our G28 to represent this individual and said, hey, we're amending this. Actually, we don't want this to be an adjustment. We want it to be a consular process for consular processing in Madrid, Spain. Now, mind you, the I-130 was sent in March of 2023. At that time, the processing times were 15 months for I-130s. So by March of 2025, 2 years had passed. We had done a lot of inquiries. And it was well outside of the normal processing times. At that point, I think processing times increased to 17 months. So what did we do? We had been patient. Nothing had happened. We filed a writ of mandamus. That's basically suing the government. We sued the government and said, hey, do your job. This is outside of normal processing times. Here's the original receipt. Here is the amendment. Please, make a decision on it. Shortly thereafter, we are contacted by the U.S. attorney who had been contacted by USCIS to resolve this. And within a matter of a month and a half, the I-130 was approved. We got notice of that. And we could then proceed, and it was approved as a consular process. So then it was approved in September, I believe, and we filed the writ of mandamus end of June. So it was a little bit over. It was like 2 months. But we get the approval finally in September. Now, mind you, she is outside of the country this entire time, but we're able to get some movement on it and immediately submit the visa application at September 25th of this year. She's documentarily qualified 2.5 weeks later. October of 2025, gets an interview 2 months later, December 2025 in Madrid. So between when we filed the writ of mandamus in June to now, it's been 6 months. We get the I-130 approved. We get the visa. She's documentarily qualified. We're just waiting for the consular interview. Then we get the consular interview 2 months later, which occurred this week, December 16th and December 17th. Her visa is approved. So it has been a whirlwind. It, of course, would have been a lot faster if she had not left the United States. I said earlier it was a fatal mistake. It wasn't a fatal mistake. It was a delay. But we were able to work with her. Obviously, there were some obstacles. They were frustrated with how long the I-130 was taking at that time, but we were able to work around it, make the government meet their burden, right, and adjudicate it. And she will be in the United States for Christmas. So we are so happy for them. This was a particularly challenging case, but we're really excited that we were able to get this done for them and that they will be able to spend the holidays together.